Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? This your guy Hanma, one versus a million. Testing. Let me know if I can be heard. Please hit the like, share, follow the Rumble channel, and subscribe. Please, yeah, hit the like. It's all for the algorithm. And also, too, if you're feeling, you know what I mean, if you're feeling like you're willing to bless the Hanma force tonight, um, cool, you can hit the Cash App. Especially, for this movie night in particular, because it took me a good decent minute to find these episodes. So I put them all together, and I was like, well, let me instead of three, I was gonna throw in some more. So yeah, so we're watching Kingdom season one, episode starting four to 10, 4 to 10, and at the end of three, we see Shin, dealing with the aftermath of his at the start of the aftermath of his best friend dying and well, being murdered, who basically was playing as decoy, to be the prince because he looks just like the prince. So the prince of the kingdom of Kin, and so yeah, and now they're being chased by this assassin, by this like chubby, fat, weird assassin who has very dangerous poisonous darts to where if they even scratch you, you're done. So like if they just scrape your cheek, yeah, you're done. But yeah, so that's where we're at in that one, and it's gonna be fun. It's always fun revisiting these episodes. Um, so and actually, I think this is like my second or third time revisiting these episodes because I just kept the train moving forward all the way to now. They are on season five. Well, season five is already out, but no, it's season six that we are waiting for. So season six of Kingdom, which should be coming out this year. Yeah, damn, there's a bunch of shit coming out in October. Yeah, I think it was around October when it's gonna be coming out. But yeah, and also too, man, I want to mention something, man. Before I start this movie night, and also before I start, just to get people to come through, I'm gonna keep this up for a minute and share a video, share one of my bros' videos for Neverworld. Show another one of his videos or one of his anime news updates. Which is a must. Which is part of the Geek Force, the Geek Verse. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. Some exciting news that he has packed in that one, especially regarding Demon Slayer and Bleach and the like. So yeah, but I just want to say this, man. I was over brother Black Ram 313's live stream. Go and subscribe to Big Bro, president of the Real Pill Nation, and he mentioned about how he's gonna have to stop or slow down on talking about female nature, and say he's going to put it all on the paywall or Patreon, and just do and just leave content up on YouTube that is basically of other stuff that they are not gonna hit them on like that. But he said, yeah, they got on me. I think they gave him a strike or some shit. And I'm like, come on, man, that's some baby back bullshit. I know this is not the first time or when they're like playing this favoritism game and shit of theirs. You fucking YouTube. You'll get on Big Bro, whom which has helped plenty of us, man, greatly. A lot of us black men, especially those who bit off my boy, off my brother. You know, using and stealing, regurgitating some of his same shit. He's right on that. For I've seen it, and so it's so embedded now to where it's like, what the fuck, Hey, it's worth mentioning here and there, but we all know, Big Bro, that they be, some funny stealing shit. These same motherfuckers be stealing shit, and the same motherfuckers they be having up, still talking their shit about female nature, even though damn it, they hardly be hitting on any fucking gems whatsoever. Hell, where were they when shit, as the juggernauts were given their profound gems, over these past fucking what, 5, 10 years? Shit. Hell. These motherfuckers, shit, you motherfuckers, yeah, y'all late as fuck. Shit, these the same motherfuckers that need to take 15,000 back seats. And these motherfuckers too, half of them, damn it, or a third of them, damn, be fucking just be nigga babbling some damn times. Be on verge of putting the motherfucker back to sleep type of shit. So yeah, don't trick Big Bro. I would say Big Bro, Brother Round. Um, if it was me, I would kind of like test it a little bit. You know what I mean? Which guess yeah, that makes it to where like yeah, they're still like on this trying to put a filter on the motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, this shit needs to stop. I'm like, hell, ain't Trump putting a stop, and because of what the fuck happened with when it comes to Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. So ain't he really trying to put like a hammer on that shit? Or is it true where they say it's just it's only when it comes to him or or his tribe? So I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, and there's other stuff I want to cover, want to talk about too. Oh man, yeah, and I did. Your boy did see the Thunderbolts too. It was all right. It was all right, even though it had the Century in there. The Century, yeah, and yeah, I'll just say it's all right for now. But yeah, and there's some other shit I've seen, some other movies, some other shows too. I've seen I may want to cover. Um, that which I may not be able to name right now. But yeah, man, cause I even just seen some shit too. It was just fucking awesome. Live action martial arts flick too. Oh man, damn it, I forgot the damn name of it. But yeah, and I do mean to check out Scott Atkins. Like I think a couple of his last movies. I think he came out with two movies that I haven't seen. A few movies I haven't seen yet that he came out with. I think probably for the past 3 years, 3 or 4 years. So that and some over here thinking like, man, because I know there's a bunch of other shit. some of this shit is in relation to what I'm about to show you in this video. And like I said, the purpose of this being up is just to, just have, get in the geek verse and just chop it up, letting you guys know, hey, I'm about to have the movie night, right, right after this, sometime right after this. So yeah, to make it a late, a true anime night. So, late night. And, yeah, that'll be it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. And, yeah, so let me know what you guys think about the news, what you hear, and what's going to be going on. So yeah, it's still like a bittersweet, sad and good time right now to be in being around. So because with all the other bullshit going on, but yeah, but this is this helps. So yeah, let's go.
Okay, people, so a lot going on in the world of anime and manga. For starters, we got some news regarding Bleach, in particular stuff pertaining to possibly a movie incoming, as well as a major update regarding the Thousand Year Blood War anime's final core and what the ending of the anime might have, in particular to some maybe original stories or just something that we did not see coming in this season. Then, My Hero Academia fans, I'm not sure if you're going to be excited about this or upset, because we got some news regarding a movie, but not an animated film, in terms of the live action My Hero Academia movie that was announced a bit back. But yeah, well, we got a big update on that and we'll talk about it. Demon Slayer fans, major success yet again, and definitely something that is gonna have a certain fandom looking at it like, okay, Demon Slayer is really rising beyond anything anyone could have imagined. One Piece fans, a little bit of an update with some words from Eiichiro Oda that kind of goes back to the stuff that happened with Black Clover recently, and we'll talk a lot more about that one, because yeah, Oda had something to say that kind of makes people look at things like, well, you'll see what I mean. And we got much more in this exciting episode of Whatever News, the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related, and we don't bore you, we get into it. Let's do it. And of course, before we continue, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell, I'd greatly appreciate it. You'd get notified on the world of anime and manga news. Okay, so to start things off, Bleach fans, I got a lot of news here for the world of Bleach, so let's just jump right into it. Let's not say anything else, because yeah, there's movie stuff, there's TV anime stuff, there's all sorts of things. One of the biggest things that I'm sure a lot of people are really excited about regarding Bleach in terms of a movie. Most fans have been waiting and wondering, are we going to get a Bleach movie? What's happening? And while we don't have 100% confirmation in terms of like an announcement or a trailer, we do got some interesting information that hints that we could very well be getting a Bleach movie not far off from now, and it might actually be happening. Because according to this, it seems as though a Bleach movie might be in the works, because the Bleach movie website updated their domain, bleachmovie.com, registered and managed by Studio Pierrot, specifically under contract with Ishizuku, has been active since 2006 and is secured through 2026. Now, I will say that this domain, again, yes, it's been around for a while, but if it's contracted through 2026, there's a big possibility that they might want to, end things off with a movie. So we might actually have a film coming, or this could just very well be a contract that has to be updated, or yeah, it's just been around for a bit. So only time will tell with that. But the fact that there is actually a contract all the way through 2026 for Bleach movie in particular, it could very well be that Studio Pierrot is going to drop that Thousand Year Blood War and then a film shortly after, or again, it could just be that something that's been sitting around for a while. Honestly, only time will tell, but I'd imagine a Bleach movie would do amazing. With anime films on the rise, and you got stuff that's happening in the world of like the Demon Slayer movie that is just getting so much success, I wouldn't be surprised if a Bleach movie is actually in the works, or at the very least in the plans at some given point. I mean, even fans that are kind of curious about the franchise would at the very least check that out. Then something that I'm imagining is going to be pretty interesting, and is going to be a big surprise for the most part for the Bleach anime for the 1,000-Year Blood War is the fact that there was something that was recently seemingly confirmed regarding the Bleach anime, because apparently episode 46 of Bleach will adapt the final volume. Based on the titles of the episodes, it seems as though that's going to be comprised of everything of the last volume of Bleach, which means that there will still be episodes that need to have some type of content, and people are assuming that possibly 4 to 5 episodes of the anime will be either anime only or possibly delve into the light novels, which the light novels fans have been screaming for a long time. They want to see those things be brought to the screen. They want to see them animated, and if they're going to do the final volume in there, it could be a wide variety of different things that they're going to do. They could go into the light novel territory. They could go into some anime original stuff. Maybe Kubo cooked up something that fans wouldn't expect. Again, it could be extensions of some of the chapters. It could be that there's going to be some events that were supposed to take place in those chapters that are going to be expounded upon in some of the after episodes, or it could very well be that they're going to straight up go into some of the events of the light novels, which I don't know how I feel about that, because a part of me is like, those light novels are some pretty hefty novels that probably could be movies in and of themselves, or even possibly like a full-on season. I mean, there's a couple of events, like major events in those light novels, that I know fans would love to see be animated and not just kind of, you know, glanced over, so to speak, as far as like things being told because of the ending of Bleach. So then in other Bleach related news, apparently a new trademark was registered in the realm of Bleach. But I want to stress something before we even continue: the fact that just because something is trademarked doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to actually become a thing. Essentially, a company can have an idea, it could have a phrase that it thinks has some type of value. In general, it could just be a concept that they decided to push forth in case they decide to visit it or revisit it at some given point. But a trademark kind of can just be that. I wanted to stress that before we continue, before people say like, hey, you said, well, no, there's a trademark there, but that's what it is. New Bleach trademark has anime fans wondering what's next for the Soul Society. Soul Society fans are lying in wait when it comes to the 4th and final batch of episodes for Bleach's 1,000-Year Blood War. Set to arrive next year, Studio Pierrot is working hard to imagine Ichigo Kurosaki's final anime journey as the fight against the Stern Ritter marks the final major storyline from the manga. While no release date has been confirmed, one major registration has arrived that hints at a big new project for the world of the Shinigami. Bleach might not have a new manga arc confirmed, but that isn't stopping the shonen franchise from staying in the public eye. Recently, Shueisha registered a trademark for quote-unquote Bleach Mirrors High. And when I think of that, I think of like high-rise buildings, like, you know how when Ichigo is in that world, I'm thinking of like, you know, high rises, like rising high. When the trademark registration was confirmed for the United States, Japan, and Europe, it was classified under the gaming section for these categories, meaning that we're most likely in store for either another console and or mobile game focusing on the Soul Society. No news has been confirmed regarding what Mirrors High is in reference to or when we can expect it to arrive, but if it does turn out to be a video game, it would be in good company. Bleach Rebirth of Souls once again brought the heroes and villains from creator Tite Kubo back to the forefront in the gaming arena, counting as one of many entries into the digital Soul Society's resume. And yeah, that could very well be that they have a new Bleach mobile game or a new Bleach game in general that they're working on, and that might be the tentative title, or again, it just could be an idea that they have. So don't take it as there's something called Bleach Mirrors High on the way. It simply could just be an idea or a plan for down the road that they may revisit. And then lastly, in the world of Bleach news, I thought that this was very fascinating because one of the people that work on the Bleach anime, he's been there for quite some time. Well, he gave a little bit of a story on how he got the job, so to speak, or at the very least something that may have helped him get the job. Let's read this one. Bleach exec reveals how Orehime's sensualness got him the job. Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War is ready for the launch of its final wave of episodes next year, and the character designer behind it all revealed how Orihime Inoue helped him to get his job in the first place. Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War is now adapting the final arc of Tite Kubo's original manga nearly 20 years after the first anime series came to an end, and many of the creative minds behind the original anime have returned for the new series as well. This includes longtime character designer Masashi Kudo, who opened up about the new series during Anime Expo 2025. As part of the Bleach's 1,000-Year Blood War special panel during Anime Expo 2025 earlier this month, Masashi Kudo shared a special video with fans full of new information about the animator never revealed before. This included a special story of how he became a character designer for the Bleach anime in the first place, and it turns out that his drawing of Orihime impressed Kubo Kudo so much that it landed him the job as part of a big contest. So I got my start at Artland Animation Studio, Kudo began in a special video. Then when I went off on my own and became a freelancer, my first job was at Studio Pierrot on the title Tokyo Mew Mew, which was also director Abe's work. So there I worked on key animation, and ever since I've been part of Team Abe, so to speak. Then came the title Detective School Q, and after that, that's when I came to work on Bleach. I'd heard they were looking for a character designer. I was told, there's this competition, you should do it. It was producer Hagino who reached out, and upon entering this contest, Kudo explained how his take on Orihime is what ultimately impressed the original creator enough to get his job working on the anime. So I decided to enter the competition, and I submitted a number of drawings like Ichigo, Uryu, and Orihime. Then I would come to hear this later, it turned out Kubo Sensei took a liking to my drawing of Orihime, and basically just like that, as a character designer, I joined Bleach. Turns out with Orihime, her sort of sensualness, that's what seems to have won him over. Hilariously also revealing that he had no experience with the manga beforehand, Kudo really understood Orihime's appeal either way. And honestly, outside of that, I think there's a really interesting lesson within that story, and that's the fact that all it takes is one yes to get to where you're trying to go. All it takes is one person to believe in you. All it takes is one, we'll call it canon event, so to speak, to get you where you're trying to go. With this dude, it was simple as, yo dog, I got this really awesome drawing, and the right person seen the drawing, and boom, he's been on Team Abe ever since. So I guess I say all that to say, never give up, because you're one drawing away, one event away, one person seeing your work or believing in your vision, and boom, your dreams can come true. But yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell if you haven't done so already, because yeah, I got a lot more news to come, and we keep you updated on the world of anime and manga. Moving forward, My Hero Academia fans, now when you first see the title of this thing, you're probably like, oh wow, My Hero Academia movie, let's go. My Hero Academia live action movie, because we know historically that live action anime adaptation films and TV series have never really been the bee's knees, so to speak. There's been a few exceptions, of course, to the rule where some stuff do actually turn out to be okay, but for the most part, we had like a decade and a half of Dragon Ball Evolution just repeated over and over with different anime to live action projects. So a lot of fans don't really necessarily believe in some of these projects just because it's like almost a too good to be true when you hear that this is going to happen. Now, with that being said, a while back, a My Hero Academia live action film was indeed announced, and of course, everybody already was like, why is this happening? Because again, live action adaptations are hit or miss, we'll say, but we've seen the misses. But it seems as though the My Hero Academia live action adaptation is actually moving forward. Let's read. My Hero Academia live action movie nabs Welcome to Derry co-creator as writer. Filmmaker Shinsuke Sato, known for his numerous manga adaptations such as Bleach and Kingdom, remains attached to direct a feature from Netflix and Legendary. Jason Fuchs is going plus ultra. The screenwriter behind such tentpoles as Wonder Woman and Argyle has been tapped to write the live action feature adaptation of My Hero Academia based on one of the best-selling manga series. Netflix and Legendary are backing the project, which has been developing the project for several years now. Filmmaker Shinsuke Sato, known for his numerous manga adaptations such as Bleach and Kingdom, remains attached to direct the feature. And just quickly, I want to interrupt to say that if this is the same dude that worked on the Bleach live action film, I could get behind that. Honestly, for me personally, the Bleach live action film wasn't that bad. If memory serves correct, was speaking very fondly of the film as it came out and stuff like that. So if it's somewhere in that ballpark, just maybe a little bit more faithful of an adaptation, I wouldn't necessarily be mad. But let's continue. My Hero is set in a world where most of the population has quirks, also known as superpowers, and tells of a non-powered fanboy who wants nothing more than to be a superhero. When the world's greatest hero sees his potential and gives him powers, the teenager enrolls in his school for superheroes. The school's motto is Plus Ultra, Latin for Push Beyond. That, of course, is just the beginning of his adventures. One of the more modern mangas, Academia launched in 2014 in weekly comic magazine Shonen Jump. Its quick popularity engendered an anime series, anime movies, awards, plus plenty of merchandise. It is said that over 100 million copies of the manga are in circulation, making it one of the best-selling manga of all time. Anime is a massive business for Netflix as the form has crossed over into the mainstream as a cultural force, not just in America, but the world. Yo, remember when video games and anime was like, shunned to the corner, and then first video games broke through the mainstream, and now anime, like when I read some of this stuff, it still makes me feel like, yo, we did that. Fuchs is known for writing big budget fare with heroic journeys, with his credits including the aforementioned Wonder Woman, the first live action solo take on the heroine that starred Gal Gadot, and if memory serves correct, I want to say that that movie was actually pretty good as well. So some of the people attached to this thing have worked on some pretty good stuff. Fuchs also has a side hustle as an actor, appearing movies such as It Chapter 2 and La La Land, and shows such as The Passage and The Good Wife. And honestly, we might be in some decent hands. Now, will that turn into something that'll make My Hero Academia's live action film the greatest live action of all time? But I guess it's definitely interesting to note that, yeah, they're actually moving forward with it, and the My Hero live action is indeed going to come. Considering Netflix is behind it, yeah, we'll see what they do with it. Of course, assuming Netflix doesn't go the route of actually putting movies in theaters, considering what they did with K-pop Demon Hunters, how they put it in theaters and it was a success for them. So who knows, by the time this shows up, Netflix might be putting their movies in theaters too. And speaking of demons, we got some really huge and awesome news for Demon Slayer, because in case you don't know, the Infinity Castle movie is, as you're watching this, out right now here in the West, but it's been out for a bit now in Japan, and the success has been monumental, and I don't want to say unheard of, but at this point, legitimately, Demon Slayer is competing with itself in the box office, because before even getting into what it did in Japan, we got a major update that says, first Demon Slayer Infinity Castle film has biggest US opening ever for an anime film. Entertainment news website Variety reported on Saturday that Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle Akaza Sarai, the first film in the Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle trilogy, has earned an estimated US $33 million as of Friday, including 11.4 mil in Thursday's preview screenings in 3,315 locations in the US, and is currently ranked number 1 at the US box office. This film has already broken the record for the biggest opening weekend for an anime film in the US that was previously held by Pokemon the first movie, which was in 1999, and that had earned a US $31 million. The film opened on a Wednesday, 2 days before the 3-day weekend box office frame. Additionally, the film surpassed the 2022 Dragon Ball Super superhero anime film's combined preview and opening day earnings record for an animated film of US $10 million. And I'm not gonna lie, this is really freaking huge. Not sure if I'm gonna go see this in theaters or might just wait till it hits like streaming and Blu-ray or whatnot, but this is just incredible and major. Officially, Demon Slayer now owns both top spots in Japan's all-time box office. After adding today's earnings, which this was a few days back now, so it's even higher, Infinity Castle Chapter 1, Akaza Returns, has reached 31.93 billion yen, edging past Spirited Away at 31.68 billion yen, while Mugen Train remains the national record holder at 40.75 billion yen. So literally the top grossing film in all of Japanese history, including anime, live action, anything that's ever come out in Japan. Number 1 is Mugen Train, and number 2 is the new Demon Slayer movie that is out in theaters right now, The Infinity Castle, and it's still grossing. And right now, there's potential that it could actually, if they leave it in theaters long enough, this might actually even surpass Mugen Train, which, don't get me wrong, 8 billion yen is still quite a bit of money, but a little less than 9 billion yen away from surpassing the Mugen Train. And I think they'll try and push through to get it done. I mean, right now it just came out in the West, and from what I understand, it's doing fantastic in the pre-screenings, and it's probably going to gross a lot of money over here too. So we could very well see the latest Demon Slayer movie beat out the last Demon Slayer movie, still remaining 2 of Japan's highest grossing films all time being Demon Slayer. Infinity Castle is still in theaters, so its total can grow further. And Demon Slayer's success doesn't stop there, because while yes, us Naruto fans, we love our series and we know it's one of the most successful series of all time, Demon Slayer is actually catching up in manga sales in record timing to Naruto. Because as it stands right now, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the manga, with 23 volumes, is sitting at roughly 220 million copies, I believe, in circulation. I don't want to say completely sold. Circulation is they shipped them out. Sold would be like they shipped them out and they were scanned and sold for. So, but still, 220 million copies of Demon Slayer are floating out there in the world, and Naruto is sitting at roughly 250 million with 72 volumes. Obviously, different times, different era. Anime has exploded, far more popular than it's ever been, although I'll throw the argument that manga sales aren't what they used to be, except for a few select series, although back in the days, the big 3 pretty much occupied that type of slot as well. Regardless of what, for Demon Slayer, with this amount of time, because Demon Slayer's manga only started in 2016, so it's less than a decade in and already at those sales, while Naruto was what, 99 or something like that. And by no means is this any way to slight Naruto. Hello, love Naruto, been a Naruto fan for a trillion years. Just pointing out, because this is another great series and another testament to when you make something, it don't have to be the most complex thing in the world. It don't have to be all of these fantastical things that nobody ever thought of. If you just put your heart into something and create something that you love, you're passionate about, anything is possible, dog. Like, it's catching up to Naruto Naruto. Just wrap your brain around that. Naruto is literally like damn near second to Dragon Ball Z in the West in terms of popularity. Yo, dog, an anime adaptation that is really good can go a long way, because yeah, it was after that anime dropped that all of a sudden, boom, Demon Slayer is everywhere, and here we are. That's crazy. Okay, so moving forward, One Piece fans, in particular fans of the man himself, Eiichiro Oda. Well, recently I had spoke about an article that came out, or some information that came out for that matter, where the creator of Black Clover spoke about a trip that he had taken to Barcelona. He went out there for some kind of business stuff, but at the same time he tried to treat it, I guess you could say, as some type of vacation. However, upon return, he wasn't allowed to go home and was basically forced to stay in a hotel near the offices of Shueisha by his editors until he finished his manuscript, and it was like days before he was actually able to go back home. And that was just one example of a lot of the things that come with being a manga artist, a manga author, a manga creator as a whole, because yes, it is a lot of hard work, but of course there's definitely the possibilities of reward, because again, Yuki Tabata is also the author of a manga that has sold 24 million copies. And I say all that to say that this kind of falls in line with giving another idea of what the manga industry can be like. Again, it's risk and reward, hard work and reward, essentially, because the author of One Piece kind of gave a little bit of a scenario and a situation that pretty much proves the point of, yo, it's hard work, but again, One Piece is at what, 500 million copies sold? You understand what I'm saying? Let's read this. One Piece creator's new statement proves harsh industry reality after Black Clover remarks. Shueisha has many magazines under its umbrella, but the flagship is undoubtedly Weekly Shonen Jump, where new installments of much of the world's most popular manga are released every week. Among its most renowned creators is, of course, Eiichiro Oda, the mastermind behind One Piece for the entirety of its ongoing run. The series is on track to become the world's best-selling comic, even surpassing Superman. The feat Oda has achieved is truly unparalleled and will likely remain unmatched. However, this success did not come overnight, but it is the result of years of hard work and consistency, something reflected in his latest comments. Oda's recent words were directed at young hopefuls aiming to become mangaka for Shonen Jump. While his message is encouraging, it also sheds light on the harsh reality of the workload mangaka must endure. Interestingly, before Oda's remarks, Black Clover creator Yuki Tabata, who recently shifted his series to Jump Giga, had also spoken about the relentless deadlines imposed by Shueisha. Together, these insights highlight the demanding and often unforgiving life of a mangaka under the magazine's strict requirements. Again, like I said, Yuki Tabata couldn't go home until he finished his work, essentially. But in case you don't know, again, Yuki Tabata, the creator of Black Clover, while it initially ran in Weekly Shonen Jump, after doing that for so long, he eventually took his manga and went to Jump Giga, which is not necessarily of the same relentless schedule. While Tabata's comments already expose this harsh reality, it is Eiichiro Oda's brutal honesty toward aspiring mangaka that has been gaining traction, especially among the Japanese community. Twice a year, the Tezuka Award is held, giving new creators a chance to submit a manuscript of 31 pages. Oda's message to participants was blunt. Submitting a 31-page manuscript should be a piece of cake. His remarks stem from the reality of professional manga creation, where authors must produce 19 pages weekly, adding up to 456 pages annually. Yeah, and that's not including the fact that sometimes you got to do color pages. The first chapter itself has to be 40 to 50 something pages. Sometimes the chapter's got to be even more than 19 pages. Like, Oda's words make it clear that life as a manga creator is no joke. Those entering the field must be ready to treat the workload as routine. Missing deadlines is not an option, as Tabata's experience shows the strictness of Shueisha, and the struggles of Hunter x Hunter creator Yoshihiro Togashi further highlight the unforgiving work culture of the manga industry. And yeah, this is Oda's message. The Tezuka Award is held once every 6 months, and if you draw a 19-page manga every week for half a year, that adds up to 456 pages of manuscripts. The Tezuka Award submission is only 31 pages. Don't spend too much time just to draw something that small. Even if you're busy with school or whatever, it should be a piece of cake, because a few years later, you'll be producing 900 pages a year. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. If you love something enough, if you want something that much, if you really feel passionate about it, then you will do whatever it takes to get there. And I think it's just a demonstration yet again with these lessons of, yeah, Tabata be going through it. Yeah, Oda be going through it. But Oda is almost 30 something years and going through it and has seen the most success anybody's ever seen. Of course, you're taking a risk with entering, just like doing anything. There's risks involved, but if you really are passionate enough, you really give it your all, you really put your heart into whatever you're creating, then the hard work will eventually pay off, and ultimately you'll be able to say, yo dog, I did it, I'm here. And I'd throw the argument that you will just feel a lot better about yourself after the fact, because you know that you gave it everything you have. Shout outs to all the authors in general, everyone putting in work. Okay, moving forward, One Punch Man fans, in case you missed it, in the last episode of Forever News, we spoke about the director of One Punch Man season 3 and essentially what's been going on, how he kind of had to come out and speak out, because ever since the trailers of One Punch Man season 3 have been coming out, ultimately he's been hearing a lot of backlash. The studio in general, JC staff, have been hearing a lot on basically what people feel is the quality to come from this season, because the trailer isn't necessarily giving off season 1 vibes. A lot of people are feeling a certain way about it. I've personally said numerous times, and I'm going to stand on it, the fact that I'm excited about it. I do think that it's going to be a fun time regardless. It's going to be a good time, and I'm just looking forward to it. But again, that's not the entirety of the internet, because apparently there's been some backlash, some criticism, and in general what the director describes as harassment, so to speak, in terms of this trailer. Because basically One Punch Man season 3 director has asked fans to stop harassing him. It probably won't live up to the first season, but I want to support JC staff, which is working to improve labor conditions and nurture its employees. Please stop with the harassment and the persistent questions that I can't answer. I think I've come with the resolve and determination to carry the work that you all cherish so dearly. It might not please you or could even make you angry, but someone has to take it on. I'm determined and ready to do so. It probably won't measure up to season 1, but the film is infused with the creator's tenacity and ingenuity. Please, at the very least, accept that. Nowadays, there are many companies flush with funding from big corporations. Much of the talent has been drawn to those places. But as I keep saying, I want to support JC staff. Ultimately, anything that is ever released has received some level of criticism. Now, depending on how much the criticism is, it's understandable for somebody to feel a certain way, but legit, anything you ever release in any capacity is going to get some level of haters regardless. It could be that 99.9% of people actually love it, and that 0.1% will be really, really loud. Although I guess in this case, because of the circumstances or whatnot, there's probably a little bit more of a vocal stance against One Punch Man season 3. But just keeping it real, if you hating on dude or harassing dude when he's giving it his all and doing his best to make sure he gives the best that they can with, you know, the resources that they have for One Punch Man season 3, you need to reevaluate yourself. Why are you hating for? Like, honestly, when you hear stories like that, once again, it just gives the community a bad name. It just makes the community look a certain way of like, yo dog, at the end of the day, you knew if it was with JC staff based off season 2 that the quality was going to be somewhere in that ballpark, and that's for the most part what it seems to me. It's like season 2 type of art and animation. There was some shots that looked really, really good from what I've seen, and yeah, I think once again people's expectations are just way too ridiculously high. They expect everything to be at that magnitude of, like, especially what we have nowadays coming out in the anime industry. If the story is good and you got some art and animation that is okay, because I'll always say I'll pick story, I'll pick the insides of it out of anything else regardless. Just being genuine. He also stated that, yo dog, there's so much that's happening with the anime industry. This is not the anime industry from 10 years ago when season 1 of One Punch Man first came out, where you had all the talent that they could just grab anybody or whatnot, especially of course when it was with Madhouse Studios. You got conglomerates like Netflix that have entered the fray. You got Sony incoming into the anime industry. You have a lot of things happening right now, and if they have the staff that they have, at the very least, once again I'm gonna say, at least we're getting a One Punch Man anime season 3, because it could be like a lot of other anime that fans are still waiting 10-15 years, and by no means am I saying accept any type of slop, because people just form whatever narratives or whatnot. And also, I'm not saying that it's slop either. I'm just saying, like, yo dog, live and let live, I guess, right? But yeah, that's all from me for this one. I'm Tim. As always, people, have an awesome day. Peace in. I be thinking about your girl all day, every day, wanna be with you like always. Just looking for my chance, I can see it. Me and you together, believe it. Tell me what it's gonna take, then I'll pay that. If you
Yeah, sure. That's my boy for Never Worlds. Shout out to him, man. Thanks, brother, for the news. Um, I don't agree with the lyrics of that outro, but but yeah. So yeah, man. Starting off with Bleach. So yeah, they talking about coming out with a movie. Okay, yeah, go ahead and come out with a movie, but I don't know what it's going to entail. Like you know, because it's going to have to be unique characters or unique powers that are unique, except for obviously our protagonists in the game. You know what I mean? Ichigo and them. So and Orihime, like the characters from the plot, basically, as they do with a lot of these movies, with all of them. But I wonder if they're going to be unique and come as powerful as the Stern Ritters in the series. So yeah, but I can't wait till they finish that. Let's complete that so we can complete the story. And so yeah, so that'll be awesome. Even though I think there's like maybe one or two Bleach movies I have not seen yet. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm glad to hear like news like about Naruto. These what he mentioned about Naruto coming out with a new movie. I think basically, yeah, from what it seems like, it's going to be a movie of Naruto when he was younger. Um, and One Punch Man, I have not seen the second or the second season yet, and it's cool to see they're going to be coming out with 2020, coming out with a third season here in 2025. Maybe yeah, I think he's in 2025 or maybe beginning next year or whatever when they come out with it. So I have plenty of enough time to catch up with One Punch Man. And uh, yep, and Demon Slayer. That's that's awesome, man. With the numbers that was doing, even though as I would mention with Demon Slayer, damn it, right now, motherfuckers, yeah, that two elements in there that I wasn't really happy about. Okay, yeah, for those who haven't seen it yet, go ahead. I may do a spoiler stream about it, about the movie later at a later date. Yeah, there was one element of one situation that basically had a backstory that took too damn long. It shows y'all spent too much time on that when y'all should have got back to current events where to show basically what's going on with this dude who took out a character or both characters to and yeah, so I'm like, wow, so is this what we're doing? I'm like, damn. So uh, it's it was, but other than that, I'll give the movie um 4 4.5. The act 4.5 out of 5. The action was superb. I had no complaints about the action when it comes to the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. So yeah, we'll get to it. I'm about to show this. I'm about to have movie night. I'm about to have anime night. So just give me Give me around close to 20, 30 minutes to get ready. All right. So this your guy Ray Hanma, one versus a million. Please hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow the Rumble channel. The Rumble link is in the will be in the description. So go ahead, hit that. Boom, you'll see me. Hit follow, and yeah, you'll be at the ready. Be on standby. So you don't get it fired up. And if you're feeling willing, to bless the Hammer Force, hey, hey, it'll be grateful. I'll be grateful. So, but all right, I'm not your fan. I'm not your stan. For I am brother. I'm out. Peace.